Damn, Jey Uso pulling the curtain all the way back as it pertains to the Royal Rumble. How everything went down, when they even found out what was going on. And if you're a veteran subscriber to this channel, you're probably not surprised because it's everything BC has been preaching to you from day one when Hunter took over. It was the greatest concern that as fans of this product, this company of pro wrestling, it's the greatest concern you could have had. And what Jey Uso just recently admitted, and we'll go over the exact quote, it's everything I tried to tell you guys, but there was enough people blowing smoke up Hunter Hearst Helmsley's ass and acting like they're getting a paycheck from WWE, so they just recited the same old talking points. Hunter is cooking and WWE is making record revenue, as if that pertains to a really good product. No, jacking up the ticket sales 10 times the amount they were 5 years ago, billion-dollar conglomerate deals from big television stations or streaming services in other countries. Yeah, revenue is ticked up just a notch or two, for sure. That doesn't translate into a good product, unfortunately, right? The ratings will tell you that. Netflix dropping half of its global audience in just 3 weeks would tell you that. Merchandise sales, no matter who's pushing the most or the smallest amount, merchandise sales are down nearly 40% from 5 years ago. Right, metrics across the board will tell you that revenue doesn't translate to a good product, unfortunately. But there's enough people blowing smoke up Hunter and WWE's ass that they think that they can do no wrong. Every decision they make will turn to gold. But then you hear what Jey Uso said, and it's not even vindication because it's what we've been preaching. It's not a pat on the back for BC and the Amplified unit because it's not a celebration. We're not even angry at this point anymore. It's just disappointment. I guess there is frustration as well, but it's disappointment. Disappointment that this company doesn't care as much as a lot of its fans and a lot of people that want to see the best possible product. It's disappointment at this point. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley is strolling into Stamford, Connecticut this morning, and he's probably not going to be too happy about what Jey Uso just admitted. But we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about now's the time, man. Now, hopefully, everybody will see that with the decision that was made with Charlie Flair at the Rumble, and whether you love Jey Uso winning or cannot stand this decision for the men's Royal Rumble, how this decision and when this decision was made should be alarming to you so that when people try to sell you, right, always be wary, be very wary of those that are trying to sell you about some of these decisions that are being made. Why do people have to work this hard to try to get you to like something, right? Like if a lot of people just didn't like Charlie Flair, there's no amount of selling them. We've seen this 10 years in a row. We're done with it. It's not connecting with the majority. Same thing with Jey Uso. If people just don't want to see the same match we just saw at Saturday night's main event 2 weeks ago, which most people were not hyped for going into it. The match was lackluster at best. Maybe the first match that they had was even better than the last one. And now we have to see it again at WrestleMania of all places. And there's people that are trying to sell you, this is the good decision because the yeet is over. Well, the yeet may be over. The verdict is still out on Jey Uso because when the bell rings, the crowd reacts a lot differently. But we'll see. But without a storyline, without good booking attached to you, you're going to fall to the wayside immediately. You're going to burn out faster than a tiny little candle. Ask Kofi Kingston. His candle burned out in 8 seconds. And Kofi Mania became a distant memory pretty damn quickly. Without good booking attached, Yeet will be over by the end of the year. And that's what raises the concerns, but nobody wants to talk about that. They want to turn a blind eye and act like business is booming. The creative has never been better. So they'll tell you, they'll sell you, everything's fine. WrestleMania is going to be just fine. It's A-okay, everybody. Everyone relax. Mania's going to be fine. But Jey Uso said, how do you know that? Hunter doesn't even know that. Hunter doesn't know what's going on. He's not making decisions in advance. Right? A lot of these fans, a lot of these personalities, everybody wants to sell you on the fact that Hunter has long-term storytelling going on, long-term booking. Hunter's got a plan for everything. Jey Uso said, hold up, Usos. Nah, he doesn't. I'll give you an exact quote from Jey Uso. That's your cold open teaser. And you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. You guys will see exactly what I mean. And you guys will see, well, hopefully, with all these decisions recently, with Charlotte Flair and what Jey Uso is admitting, hopefully, and just looking and feeling like this once again doesn't feel like Mania already. And we're past Rumble. This is already Mania. It's in 2 months, less than. Or roughly 2 months. And it doesn't even feel like it. Right? Hopefully we can now all come together and just hold HHH accountable for a better product. Care more about the creative. We'll talk about Jey Uso's quote. That's your cold open teaser. We're also going to go over top merch sellers for the Royal Rumble. This is going to be an eye-opener as well for you guys. Everybody talking about how the Yeet merchandise is flying off the shelves. Cody can't keep up. Really? Because I got some numbers for you guys. It might be truly alarming for you. We'll go over the top merch sellers for the Rumble. I was able to double validate this too. So the double sourced validation that I got had number 3 and number 4 flipped. So we'll talk about it. And this was supposed to also be the Dynamite review. Full transparency, I was only able to catch the last half an hour of Dynamite. But we'll go over it. You guys might be shocked about what I'm about to say. But it's how I truly felt watching that last half an hour of Dynamite. So the half an hour that I did see, we'll talk about it. And you guys can fill me in on the first hour and a half. Is it worth even going back and watching? So huge swig of coffee. I'm not going to take you guys to an opening signature. I want to get right into the Jey Uso story. Salute unit. Especially my channel members, all my newer subscribers that just jumped on board. There's a lot of you guys. Salute, man. Appreciate you guys not just stopping by, but digging the content, smashing that subscribe, taking a moment to do such. We're a very amplified channel, clearly, as is in the name. We don't like to sugarcoat or BS. We ruffle feathers, unfortunately, because, a lot of fans, especially the younger ones, you talk about their favorite wrestler, and they go, don't say that, but we have to, right? If we're saying something, it's because we want to see it get better. The wrestler, the story, the product, right? Everything we say, even though we're doing it in an entertaining way, right? We're turning the volume up because it is an entertainment platform. But everything we're saying is still true. We want the best. That's always been my mission statement when I started this channel. I want pro wrestling to be great again because it's not right now. So we needed to get such. So thank you guys, man. The last couple of uploads, you guys have just been rocking out. Such good convo. And I feel like we're finally just getting to a place where we're all being more honest and we're holding the companies more accountable. Which includes Hunter Helmsley, as hard as that may be for many. Because we just want to, so many fans just want to look at him because it's not Vince anymore. They just want to anoint him the savior, the messiah of WWE, but it's just not that simple. You have to actually do the work. So this is what Jey Uso said. One more swig, please, because this is a big story, guys. So Jey Uso says this. He was just interviewed. He was they were asking about the Rumble. Man, what a moment and this and that. When did you find out? Jey Uso says, and I quote, "They told me like halfway during the day on Saturday, man. I'm in the last 4. I see who's with me and I'm like, whoa. And then they let me know right there, hours before the match." Because he said Saturday. And he said halfway during the day, not even like, hey, 8 a.m. We gotta, we were doing a lot of brainstorming on Friday night. No, we need to see you at 8 a.m. All 4 of you. Cena, Punk, Uso. Who was the other 4? Was it Logan Paul? Whatever. We need to see you for 8 a.m. This dude said halfway during that day. Halfway. This is how he put it. They told me halfway during the day on Saturday. So I guess we could have worded that Saturday afternoon. Uso's always been a shy dude, kind of. He's doing an interview. He's always been shy, not the greatest on the mic. We could have called that probably Saturday afternoon. But, I mean, he's saying halfway during the day. I mean, this could 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Hours before the Rumble is what he's telling you. Is when he found out he was going to win the Rumble. That is a monumental issue. It is a fundamental core issue with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It is everything I told you guys at first. It felt and it seemed like he was booking by the day. But then it turned into, several months ago, it turned into feeling and seeming it. It turned into, no, he is. Like, you could just look at what was being done, and you knew, guys, this was day-to-day booking. This was hour to hour, minute to minute, and then we heard the reports that scripts were being ripped up and changed up before the shows. Sound familiar? That was VKM in the last couple of years before he exited. This is one of those pull back the curtain moments that finally everybody can see just how bad this is. For everybody that claims Hunter likes long-term booking and long-term storytelling, it's the opposite. Everything I've seen from this dude since he's taken over is short-term, what I like to call box booking. Box booking, right? Xia Li comes out of nowhere. She wins 2 big matchups in dominating fashion. Remember, she was like knocking people. Was Zelina Vega one of them? But she was knocking people out. Couldn't even finish the match because she was just not looked dominant for 2 weeks. And then the following 2 weeks, that was just to make her get 2 big L's, right? Valkyria to kind of pump her up a few notches. And then a loss to Becky Lynch as a consolation prize because Becky had lost a couple big matches beforehand. So we bumped up for 2 weeks Xia Li, and then here's Becky and Valkyria getting 2 big W's. So you 50-50 book Xia Li. In 1 month, that was her booking. Then she was told to sit at catering for a few months, and then she was fired. What is the good long-term storytelling and booking for Chad Gable or the Creed brothers? They don't have anything. They had something going with Otis, and then they were immediately pulled, and they were thrown into this weird thing with the Wyatt Six. That fell flat on its face. What's the long-term booking for the Wyatt Six, too, by the way? Wyatt Six. What are they doing? They get thrown into this weird thing with Chad Gable and the Creeds. Went nowhere, fell on its face, got thrown into this Final Testament thing, which could have been really cool. The payoff was in the middle of a Monday Night Raw with Baby Powder and Uncle Howdy looking up at the lights. That was so weird. And then you haven't seen the Wyatt Six since. Long-term booking, basically. And then they get booted over to SmackDown quietly. What? Where's the long-term storytelling and booking for Alba and Isla? They win the titles because it was Scotland, and there was never any thought put into it. A month or 2 later, they drop them back, and you don't see them anymore. Maybe in NXT once in a while. What's the long-term storytelling and booking for Valkyria? They put a title on her recently. What's the story? I can't even think of anything. What's her feud? You really have to think about it. There's nothing. She's a champion. Go down the line. Drew McIntyre doesn't know what he's doing. What's the long-term? He's got his hand in every cookie jar because they have nothing for Drew McIntyre. This guy is pulling some of his best character work in his... I'm telling you, I'm amped up, bro. You want the truth? You came to the right fucking channel. Drew McIntyre, this is his best character work I've ever seen. And he doesn't know what he's doing. He's got his hand in the Sami Zayn cookie jar, the Seth Rollins, the CM Punk. Then he talks Roman Reigns. He doesn't know. He's so confused. He stormed out at the Royal Rumble. He's pissed off at everything. Pissed off at everything. And I don't even blame him. Hunter doesn't have a clue. Hunter's over here losing guys like Bobby Lashley. Look at Bobby. How do you lose Bobby Lashley, dude? What's the long-term storytelling in the tag team division? There is none. You have nothing. DIY took the titles from Motor City, who got the titles right when they got there. That fell so flat on its face that they had to immediately take them off of them, put them on DIY, who just turned heel, mind you. They turned heel, if anybody cares. On Raw, the New Day turned heel. And because these two teams turned heel simultaneously, It blocked the highway for the Street Profits turning heel. That should have been the heel turn before anybody else. But instead, because DIY and New Day, Street Profits are over there looking like clueless clowns. They're playing tweeners. They show up at the Rumble and they attack Motor City and DIY. Motor City and DIY. Why would you attack? But what are no? The fans don't even know what you are. What do you stand for? If you stand for everything, then possibly you're standing for absolutely nothing. Right? I mean, you can't just be like, oh, I'm half face, I'm half heel. I just go where the wind blows. That's not how pro wrestling works, man. If you're confused with your character, if you're kind of floating in the breeze when fans show up, don't be shocked when they're not behind you or they can't support you. They want to, but the booking is so bad we can't. I could go down the line. There is no long-term storytelling. There's no long-term booking with Hunter Helmsley. CM Punk was injured for months. That's why he kept showing up and had to continue this one thing with the Drew. Thankfully, you never want to see somebody get injured, but because Punk we got the best possible booking we could have got with him and Drew. Same thing when Stone Cold was injured years ago when Owen dropped him on his dome piece. And a lot of people didn't even know Stone Cold was injured because he was showing up to TV every week and doing the storyline with Vince. So in a weird way, in a roundabout, we got the best Stone Cold storyline with Vince when Stone Cold was injured. But that's the reason CM Punk and Drew was so long. CM Punk was injured. Drew was probably thrilled. Thank goodness, dude. Yes, I'm in something. And the bloodline, that's Paul Heyman's, and that gets, and whenever Roman doesn't show up, which is most of the time, it feels flat, man. Solo Sikoa's bootleg bloodline never really mounted up to anything. We can't act like it's just as exciting as the bloodline used to be 2 years ago. It's not. And yet everybody tries to defend Hunter Helmsley's long-term storytelling, how great he does long-term booking. He sucks at it. He does short-term box booking, and he's not even good at that. So it brings us to Jey Uso's statement. He found out hours before the Rumble that he was going to win the Rumble. Sound familiar? Same thing last year. Remember, Hunter admitted that he had no idea going into the Rumble what exactly he was going to do. Right, The Rock had already stated on January 1st, weeks before the Rumble, a month before the Rumble, Rock already had informed WWE, had a meeting with HHH and Nick Khan. He is going to face Roman. That was the decision. Hunter had the full month to decide what he wants to do. And even that's too late, right? You have to tell The Rock, dude, we understand you're the big blockbuster star, but I need to know, right? This is where Hunter has to step up and go, Rock, this is your deadline. But a month is still enough time. He still decided last minute to go Cody Rhodes, which would make no sense because they already knew Rock was so they had Cody go out there and look like an idiot and just give his spot to Rock. There was a huge backlash by a lot of fans because the booking was so bad. That's what all this comes down to. A lot of the garbage response and the vitriol in the community isn't necessarily even the action itself. It's how it's all done. Perhaps a lot of fans wouldn't have been too upset with Roman and Rock had you just booked Cody a little better in the whole situation and not make everybody look like geeks. But that's what Cody looked like, and the whole situation made no sense. It was stupid. It was bad booking. And even then, people just didn't want to hold Hunter Hearst Helmsley's ass to the fire. He had Cody Rhodes win the Rumble for no reason. Just like, I'm just going to go this. I'm going to do this. This will be weird. Let's throw everybody off. You want to throw people off and do a swerve. Make it exciting and make it make sense, right? Jason Uso is definitely a swerve. Makes no sense because you booked it wrong. That's why a lot of fans are are just furious and befuddled with this decision. Most of it isn't even about Jey Uso himself. Take him out of the equation. It's the way that it was done. How they booked Jey Uso going into the Rumble makes no sense to win the Rumble. That's the problem, man. Hunter's booking sucks. So the decisions that are being made, even if some fans do enjoy it, they can't be shocked that the majority is befuddled by it. Cody wins out of nowhere last year for zero reason, even when HHH knew Rock was coming back. This year, they did not even tell the talent because Hunter didn't know. The night before, I am pretty sure Hunter had no idea where. He was just going to chuck the baloney at the wall, right? Maybe he narrowed down the final four, but he just doesn't know. So he's going to chuck baloney wherever it lands. Boom, it landed on Jey Uso. And Hunter's like, whoa, that'll be bizarre. Let's do it. Jey Uso found out hours before the Rumble. So the next time somebody tries to sell you that Hunter knows what he's doing, everybody relax. It's going to be fine, man. Mania's going to be banging out. Hunter has it all mapped out, man. You got to believe in the Helmsley. The next time somebody tries to sell you on that, say no thank you. Slam the door right on their dome piece. We're not buying those goods. Raise your bar. Tweak your wrestling knowledge because it's off. The wires aren't connecting. Because Hunter does not have anything mapped out. You don't need BC to tell you this. Look at the product, guys. Forget the Rumble being anticlimactic, right? Most of the fan base didn't even want Charlotte Flair winning. A shit ton did not want Jey Uso, not even because they don't like Jey Uso. It's not exciting for them. They don't want to see the Gunther Uso rematch of a rematch of a rematch. And it's just weird. And if you take away the yeet for a lot of fans, it's Jey Uso. So the Royal Rumble, we all can admit, was anticlimactic either way. But then Monday Night Raw was just so sad. It's WrestleMania season now. Rumble's gone. And what feud, when that show went off the air, what feuds did you have? What do you have, guy? Let's be honest, man. That's what we're doing here. We're being honest. When Monday Night Raw went off the air, post-Rumble Mania season, this is setting it up. It's only 2 months away, less than, or roughly. It's a little later this year, right? Because they want to be in cold weather. They moved it to Vegas. They pushed it back. Middle of April, maybe. 2 months. And what do we have, guys? We have nothing. They're teasing Jey Uso and Gunther, the rematch from the Saturday night's main event that nobody cared about, and the match was lackluster. And by the way, that was a rematch of a rematch of a rematch. That's what they're pushing. And what else do we have, guys? Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are fighting again for the 942nd time. Some people think that's just going to be in Canada because that's where Elimination Chamber will be. I'm hearing they're going to extend it, and they're going to wrestle both times, both events. Owens and Zayn again, 942 times, because a lot of fans are willing to just accept it, and a lot of other fans are willing to just forget about it. Maybe they just forgot about it. So they're like, I don't mind it, basically. We haven't seen it in a while. Well, that's what I mean. When so many fans try to tell us, the Amplified unit, to lower our standards and lower our bar and just enjoy pro wrestling, I say no. You higher, raise your bar. Be captivated by pro wrestling. Don't just enjoy it. I'm not lowering my bar, dude. This is WrestleMania. There was a time where we saw ultimate feuds culminate with larger-than-life stars, and it was so fun because a lot of the matches, you never even saw them face each other before. Macho Man versus Ric Flair at WrestleMania 8 for the title, and it wasn't even just about a title. There was a really good storyline attached. Ric Flair trying to get at Macho Man by Miss Elizabeth. And you remember the Miss Elizabeth storyline and trying to tell Macho Man that Miss Elizabeth was having that affair. It was such a good storyline. Where is that? Where is the matches like Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, WrestleMania 25? Like the setup to that, the story to it. It was just, I don't even think that was the main event of WrestleMania 25. Like, where is all of that when Andre and Hogan collided at 3, or even Macho Man and Hogan at 5? But all these, you know what I mean? That's what WrestleMania is supposed to be. Jason Uso Gunther's rematch from Saturday night's main event. That's where we have come, guys. And because it's 2025 and we're just supposed to say all nice things and give out participation trophies and just yell, "You deserve it," we're supposed to not be honest with how we feel about it, right? We're supposed to just say, "Oh, Jay's a good guy. I'm happy for him. He deserves it." That's what we say now. We no longer say, "Whoa, dude, this match is going to be nuts. This match is wild. Dude, Jey Uso Gunther, title on the line." We're not, guys, look at the conversation. Even the people that claim they're totally down with this decision. They're like, it's going to be great, man. He deserves it. It's, he's going to hold the title up and then he's going to yeet, and we're going to yeet for 10 minutes in Vegas. 20, basically, we're going to yeet all night long, man. Pat McAfee's going to dance on the commentary table, and then he's going to yell on the commentary headset. He's going to yell to everybody who's watching. He's going to go, I'm climaxing in the front row. And we're going to do all the childish jokes that we do for yeeting. Oh, it's going to be great, BC. And all the talking heads in the podcasting world, and everybody's going to tell you that it's going to be great. This is the way to go. It's going to be amazing. He pushes merch, and the yeet is super over. So trust me, you're going to love it. They're going to try to sell you, right? You like this idea, and if you don't, too bad. It's the right decision. Well, can you at least get to that decision correctly? Can you get to it properly? Can you get to it in an exciting way that makes sense? Because this Jey Uso booking does not make sense. The dude went in there on Saturday night's main event with a shitty storyline. It was a rematch we've already seen. Nobody was interested in it. When the match was over, we were happy that it was done. And that's who you had win the Rumble to get to the same exact match on the grandest stage of them all. Then why would you book it for Saturday night's main event? That's what we're asking. Just hold Hunter accountable. His booking sucks. Even if you love Jey Uso winning and you don't mind at all, you want to see him in the main event of Mania. Even if that's what you desire. Can we all just admit the way we got there is bullshit, and that's a running theme under Hunter Hearst Helmsley? Can we not just admit that? That nobody has long-term booking right now? That everything sucks for Mania? We went over Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They have nothing set up for Mania other than maybe facing each other. We've already seen this a billion times. What is Drew doing? He's over there with Seth Rollins. Then he's talking CM Punk. There's nothing for Drew. What does Drew even have? What is LA Knight doing? I don't even know anymore. Is he still dancing around with the bootleg bloodline? Nobody knows. What's the tag team division? What's DIY? Are they going to take on Street Profits? Are we going to have like a fatal 4-way tag team match at Mania because they don't want to get creative and they just want to try to utilize all these tag teams? I bet you we get a fatal 4-way because there's no just storyline with two teams that you're captivated by. I'm speaking bombs, man. I'm speaking truths, and you know it. You know it. There's nothing. Monday Night Raw came and went, and nobody knows any storylines. Forget being captivated. There is none. There's no stories. So Ray is going to take on Logan Paul next week to try to get into a chamber. What does that do for Mania, bro? Aside from the winner getting a championship match. Everyone else, the undercard, the midcard, there's nothing. The women's division, there's nothing. Charlie's going to take Tiffany's title more than likely. Well, great. She had a 2-month title reign. Non-existent. Way to do dirty, Tiffany Stratton. Women's division, there's nothing. The mid-card, there's nothing. The tag team division, there's nothing. And on the main, for the headliners, you're getting Jason Uso and Gunther's Saturday night's main event rematch. As far as Cody's championship, nobody knows. Rock doesn't want to work Mania, it looks like. So all of that last year, right? Everybody changed the course of history so Cody could finish his story. It was a pretty anticlimactic title reign for Cody Rhodes. No real, I can't remember too many memorable moments, but okay. And in the process, we never even got The Rock and Roman or anything like that. No, we got a weird tag team match with Cody and Seth versus Roman and Rock. The Rock doesn't want to do it for Cody, so then you go, John Cena, I guess, and the storyline is Cody always wanted to be Cena. Cody looks at Cena, not Randy Orton, like the true teacher. I guess that's, if you want Cena to do it. CM Punk, they set that up last Monday, and then that just went cold because CM Punk probably should have won the Rumble if it wasn't going to be Cena, because you already you set up the story with Cody. And now it's going to cool off by the time we get to the Chamber, which is not until next month. Punk and Cody would have no reason to even cross paths. It was all done stupidly. There's no long-term storytelling. There's nothing to be captivated by. BC's just being honest. You think I like telling you this? Because now it bums everybody out, right? It's kind of like, damn, BC, when you put it like that, dude. Like, well, why do you think a lot of fans are upset with the product? Honestly, if you're loving every part of it, dude, salute. I'm not even going to rip you apart, man. I'm not going to be like a Bubba Dudley and just start slamming you because you don't like Charlotte Flair's booking, right? No, most of us don't like Charlotte's booking. Deal with it, Bubba. I put an upload up late last night. I'm speaking like Jay Uso now. Later in the night, last night, I put up an upload about that, what Bubba said about Charlie, and it's just obnoxious, man. Like you're gonna rip fans because we're just tired of Charlie. But I'm not even gonna rip you. If you want to do the Jey Uso thing, that's cool. What we're asking is just get there properly, man. Like put good creative in this. Get us excited, man. This is Mania. Like, you can't be shocked that so many fans are just not feeling like it's WrestleMania season. You can't be shocked that we want better from this company because there's no reason we shouldn't be getting it. And if Hunter, like, truly, if he came across like he cared more, that maybe it would be different. But he's doing all the promo. Are you ready? He's doing all the commercials. He's doing all the... every time they do a PLE in a different country, it's him first and foremost. It takes 6 hours to 10 hours to do a shoot like that, by the way. Every single time he does one of those ads and promos. But the voiceovers, now he's going to the Hall of Fame. That's going to, he's got to do the speech and get ready for that. I mean, everything under the sun that can take him away from doing the job of creative is taking him away. No more so than his own self. He loves the spotlight. He loves being an on-air character. Then do that, dude. But don't do creative because you're not doing it good. You're not doing your job good. That's the problem. And another year is upon us with WrestleMania. And for the third really, but the second year in a row for sure, it does not even feel like WrestleMania season. Because Hunter Helmsley has made it so dull, so dry, so pathetically bad. No, forgive us not. If the majority of us are just not excited to see Jey Uso and Gunther's rematch from Saturday night's main event. Just so we can yeet and try to have Yeetamania. Try to recreate Kofi Mania. Because we know how it ends. You don't know how to book correctly. So within just a few months, the yeet is dead and gone. Jey Uso's push, momentum, stardom has fizzled out. Just look no further than Kofi, bro. But we were able to get that Mania moment with everybody eating. Without good booking and good creative attached to it, it's all meaningless. Jey Uso found out hours before the Royal Rumble. There's just no excuse for it, man. There's just no excuse for it. Although The Rock didn't know what he was doing, BC, and they were all kind of tied up right until the last minute. No, somebody has to stand up to The Rock. Nick Khan, Hunter, they have to have an intervention. Dude, I have a company to run. Can't do it. Sorry. You're not the only one on the board of directors, bro. Nick Khan has even more power, and Hunter has to actually run the content. No. Then they would still be to blame. Yeah, I still would not blame The Rock then. If The Rock has that much fucking power and everybody is catering too, then at some point you'll have to step up. You can't be beholden because your ass is on the line. So no, I'm not buying the fact that The Rock last minute literally told them I'm not going to be in the Rumble. No, we heard 2 weeks before that the report was Rock had already told them. Like last year, he told him a full month in advance he is going to take on Roman. This year, we're hearing he told him a full month in advance, bare minimum, that he's not going to participate in the Rumble. So no, there's no reason under the sun that Hunter would tell these individuals the day of, hours before. These wrestlers need to know their trajectory so they can start mapping it out and how they want to do things. But this falls in line with everything that BC hears backstage and everything that I'm viewing and listening to myself. Hunter is day-to-day booking. There's no long-term in this dude. So when people try to sell you, it's fine, man, relax, everything is gonna be okay, it's gonna be good, Mania's good, man. Is it? Because Hunter doesn't even know what he's doing for Mania. He has nothing planned. So yeah, it's okay to think, you know what? Mania is not going to be fine or okay. Mania, at this point anyway, completely sucks. And by now we have the feeling that gets Mania. We start to see some really good matches developing that we really care about. We see nothing. Jey Uso, Gunther, Charlie Flair, and Tiffany. Just to take Tiffany's title. And everything else, crapshoot. They don't know what they're doing for Cody. That's probably going to be a last-second decision before the chamber. He's going to call all 5, 6, whatever the chamber is, however many go in there. He's going to call them all in, and hours before the chamber, he's going to declare who's taking on Cody. You should have all of this mapped out months in advance, man. End of 2024. And you guys remember when Hunter was asked about it, and he said, well, loose plans, yes, but things always change, you know. So he's writing with the pencil, not the pen. No, write with the pen, bro. There's whiteout. If something drastic happens, you can white it out. Write in pen. There's no reason to write in pencil. Throw your erasers out. And the pencil's with them. Jey Uso found out hours before the Rumble on that Saturday afternoon. How wild, man. And there's fans that are shocked that there's so many fans that are just concerned with the booking, and we feel like there's no direction. It's because there's no direction. There's not. Hunter showed up to the Rumble. He's like, call everyone in. I'm gonna let him, hold on. We're going to go eeny, beady, mighty, mo. Catch a Rumble victory by the toe. If he hollers, I mean, we're playing, what else are we going to play? Red Rover, send John Cena over, and the last one is the remaining Rumble. What are we doing? Did they all go in there and play Yahtzee? This couldn't have been panned out, because if you did plan it out many months in advance, and this was your trajectory, guys, you want to know the sad truth? We wouldn't have booked Jey Uso so stupidly into a Gunther match at Saturday night's main event to look up at the lights. But BC, that's the story. It's redemption. Do you realize how poor that was booked into Saturday night's main event? Do you guys remember the match itself? And you're shocked that people just don't want to see it again? You're shocked that people are looking at this booking and were befuddled. This is the best that Hunter has? If it seems like Mania has no thought put behind it so far, it's because no thought has been put behind it so far. BC with the mic drops. Boom, boom. Banger bomb. Maybe a little bit, right? Maybe a little pat on the back. Because once again, we were right, man. The community just wants to just hype up, put Hunter on that pedestal, and just forget about everything that's burning underneath. The entire kitchen is burning down, and everyone's like, don't worry, guys, Hunter's cooking. No, evacuate, bitch. The fucking fire department's coming out, man. Hunter burned everything down. This shit sucks. And I guess when the red light goes on, the microphone is fired up. BC is supposed to fall in line with everyone else and tell you guys how amazing WW is in the pro wrestling world right now. And how WrestleMania season is ignited, and I'm feeling like it's, oh man, it's going to get so good. Because no, it's just not. Nobody wants to be honest about it. Always watch with a keen eye, too, in this community, guys. Watch with a keen eye. Listen, because you can find out so much, right? There's so many people that just want to bash, because I'm about to go over what I did see of AEW last night. There's so many people that just want to bash AEW, and trust me, I'll be the first to say they need to get that product back on track. It is not good from top to bottom, not even close. So I get it. And the constructive criticism, Tony has to take that and really adapt to it, change with it, get better. But this is a company that's been around roughly 5 years-ish. They're pulling 600,000 to 700,000, whatever it is. And people just bash it as if it's been around for 50 years. They're treating it like it's WWE, right? WWE being this bad, it should be unacceptable. But WWE is not catching this much heat. The company that's only been around 5 years, that there's no real connection with, right? You liked it for a couple years, and now you don't, so maybe it's just not your cup of coffee. It's not like WWE that's been around for decades. You know that's not just your cup of coffee, that's your coffee machine. So you always have to maintenance it and treat it right and be honest with that coffee machine. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to clean you out whether you like it or not. Right? There's that attachment to WWE, or at least there should be. That's what made most of us fall in love with wrestling. Most likely it was WW. But we're willing to just let that product be bad. We're just, the narrative, the agenda in the community is just bash this company that's been around for 5 years. Listen, you had a couple good years where you liked it, and now you don't. Right? State your piece. Okay, it needs to get better. You can't stand this. Okay, but the bashing when a company like WWE, and I'll get even more specific, what about NXT? This is a brand that's been around longer than AEW, and they're pulling around the same numbers, 750-ish on average. AEW has dropped below that now, but for a long time, AEW was right there, or if not more. But they're roughly around 600,000-700,000 on average. Sometimes AEW hits 7, whatever. NXT will hit 8. I get it. Roughly 750, right? The point is they're both very low and well under $1 million. Nobody wants to bash or even speak about NXT. It's just a pass. AEW, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. Is it Wednesday night? We gotta fucking rip this apart. Well, where's the same energy on Tuesday nights? They're not pulling in that much better of a rating, bro. You can say it's a much better product all you want, but it's not translating. Nobody wants to rip NXT. Nobody wants to hold WWE accountable. It's just bash AEW. And then they turn and they see how badly booked Jason Uso has been. If you're going to make him win a Rumble and try to sell the majority of the fan base on a WrestleMania main event with Gunther, that's what I mean about he's been booked. The yeet, no doubt, over, right? You got a lot of kids dragging their families and it's a one-word thing, right? Yeah, everybody's yeeting. I get it. So you have the one word and the dance. Or whatever it is, right? It's like Sethington Rollins. He was dry for so long. He came out with a sing-along. Everybody started singing along for 10 minutes every show, right? You get a crowd together with enough kids, and they drag their parents, and enough adults that I guess just spent a lot and want to have a good time, I guess. So more power to them. Good for them. Salute. But you get enough of those people in one arena, and yeah, they'll dance. No question. But the booking has been absolutely atrocious. And they won't even call that out. They're just like, yeah, I'm okay with Jey Uso. I'm okay with how it's been done. It's good. He'll win the title. We'll yeet. The booking has been... If this was AEW, you'd be ripping it apart, everybody who just bashes to bash. You'd be ripping it apart. But because it's WW, oh man, yeah, I don't see what the problem is. Jason Uso. Yeet. Is it Wednesday? We got to go bash AEW. Always pay attention to that. I always think that's funny. I always get a good laugh at that, right? If you ever want to see what a narrative and what an agenda looks like, just see how people say certain things and how they are toward things, and see if they keep the same energy, right? Like, we always keep the same energy. Does everybody do that? Nah. It's interesting, right? Narratives and agendas. The Jey Uso booking's just fine. Relax. It's good. It's good. And if you don't like it, tough. You'll come around to it because it's the right move. The booking sucks. That's the truth. The booking sucks. It's okay to call that out. Even if you love Jey Uso and you want to see him hold a title and yeet at Mania, the booking sucks. Let's go for AEW. Or do you want to do the merchandise? Well, we might as well do the merchandise because it coincides with Jason Uso, actually. Top merch sellers for the Royal Rumble. Number 1 was not the Yeet Master. It wasn't the Yeet t-shirts, guys. There's just... This is what I mean, this false narrative in the community that so much merchandise was being pushed. He had topped Cody Rhodes and they had to give him the Rumble. Guys, that's not the case. He never topped Rhodes. Double verified list that I obtained last month even, he was not beating Rhodes. But this Rumble list, which has gained a lot of traction, so this is why I had to go and get it verified. And the list panned out. 3 and 4 was switched. So I'll give you the verified list that I got. But number one, no matter what list you see, number one was Jonathan Cena. So when Cena, after the Rumble, did that little presser, and he just said, it dawned on me, what I'm trying to do what's best for business and let everybody else win, right? Austin Theory, Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso. It dawned on me out there when I was looking at everybody and all my merchandise and looking at the faces that were dreadful after I got eliminated. He goes, it dawned on me, I'm best for business. And I think there's so much truth in that. I mean, he's seeing his merchandise more than anything, and he's like, dude, what am I... That would have been insane if I won that. You think everybody would have been yeet? Imagine if I won that thing. Everybody is ready for this number 17. John Cena's number one in merch, man. And that should be no surprise. It's his big last year, so people want to be a part of that and get the merch. Helps that I think it was Indianapolis inspired. So a lot of people from the area, the Colts, was it the Horseshoe? Something like that, man. I think it was inspired because it was the blue and the white too. So yeah, John Cena, but he was going to be anyway. So if you're just going on merch, then John Cena wins the Royal Rumble. So I hate that right? He's pushing merch. Okay, LA Knight did for the long. LA Knight actually topped off at 1 for the better part of a month, and Hunter did nothing with him. So it's not just about merch. John Cena was number one. But guys, it's not even number two. Number two was Cody Rhodes, which is exactly what I told you guys last month with the merch. It was no, hold on. Cody is number one. Jey Uso's not next to Cody. And sure enough, guys, Cody Rhodes' American Nightmare shirts are still selling more than Yeet. And number 3 originally was supposedly the Yeet from Jey Uso. The verified list that we got has Roman Reigns' OTC as number 3, which would have been off from number 2 under Cody on the last list last month. So Cody, Roman, John Cena was not, I don't even think, was Cena even in the top 5? No. And he was already announced for the tour, obviously. I forgot where Cena was, but Cody, Roman. So Roman was number 3 because Cena now popped off at 1. John Cena, Cody Rhodes, OTC Roman Reigns. Then was the Yeet of Jason Uso. Now, after the Rumble, we heard people were running up to the stands and trying to pick it up, because it's a momentous occasion. You were there live. That's the winner. You got to make sure you get the merch. And for the next 2 months, they're, I guess, going to try to just do this Yeet thing 20 minutes every single Monday night, get everybody, try to captivate it into this Yeet movement. So, you might see... Yeah, I'm guessing you'll see the merch pop off more, but it's very eye-opening to see where it was going into the Rumble. And even, all we were hearing is how much merch is, but, no. Even LA Knight last year actually took the top spot. That's how much merch LA Knight was selling. Number 1, guys. Jason Uso hasn't even been at number 1 yet. In fact, not even close. Again, my list has him not 3, 4. I'm just trying to, just careful of the narratives that you guys hear, man. Go with what you feel, right? If it feels off, if it feels like it's just not as good or as exciting as it could be or should be, there's probably a reason for that. It's probably not. You don't have to second guess yourself or listen to somebody else try to sell you that it's all good. Don't worry. Hunter's got a master plan. Believe in the Messiah. No, it's okay to go, no, he doesn't, because he hasn't shown us that he does. It's okay to say that. So that is your update on the merch. Very eye-opening, right? Helps tell the real story anyway. Over to AEW, we'll go over this quick because I was only able to catch the last half an hour. You guys can tell me if the first hour and a half was worth watching. If I do have the time, I'll try to check it out. I was just so busy, man. I was able to do a pre-record. I got that up late to you guys. That's how busy I was yesterday and last night especially. So that's why that upload went up so late. Thousands of you guys have already been able to catch it. Go, thank you, man. Smash that up on that one. Not just this one, smash it. Help out that algorithm. I do appreciate it, guys. But I was able to see like the last half an hour. Guys, I was pleasantly surprised at the last half an hour. Or maybe it's because you had Dustin Rhodes getting amplified on MJF in a backstage promo. You guys know, if you don't, if you're newer to the channel, I'm a huge Dustin Rhodes supporter, and he was amplified. He was pissed off at what he calls boy and bitch MJF. And I wish that Dustin Rhodes had one more really strong push. I wish that he could have done something more with this version of Cody in WWE, but obviously that's not going to happen now. He just signed this new multi-year contract with AEW, so I'm happy for him. But I would have liked to see one more big thing with him and Cody in WWE. In AEW, I want to see him have this massive push, but instead Jeffrey Jarrett's getting it. Okay. They picked that for the old timer. And Dustin is, I don't know, man. Dustin can still go, even at his age. And he just has a mind for the business. He's always trying to teach all the boys and gals backstage. The problem is the younger these wrestlers are coming in, they just don't even care about advice from the legends or picking their dome piece and trying to get better. They don't even care. It's unfortunate. But just watching Dustin Rhodes get amped up, man, that was pretty cool. Him and MJF next week. Is that Collision? I don't think that's Dynamite. But so that was in the last half an hour. You had Toni Storm was just so good. Toni Storm, she was like dressed up as Mariah May, acting like Mariah May, talking like Mariah May after her victory. Mariah May was on commentary and she's talking and she's just getting. Mariah's so annoyed. Mariah slams down the headset, goes to get in the ring but thinks better. She's, I'm Mariah, and she takes off, and Toni Storm is just looking great. Like, she should wear that attire more. Somehow, Toni Storm got more beautiful. I mean, she was just like, everybody in attendance was like, damn, this match can go on a couple more hours if you want, as long as Toni's going to be in the ring. Just beautiful, man. But Toni's, that was actually fun. That was like really good in their whole interaction. I like that. If you guys haven't seen it, if you got a couple minutes, it'll be worth your time watching Toni Storm and Mariah May. I did like that. I really did, guys. There was a live New York Minute with Jericho and his crew, in which really set up Big Bill and Powerhouse. But it was a live, like in the aisleway, and they're in Atlanta. And I believe they call it the ATL. So Jericho kept saying, a live New York Minute right here in the ALT. I don't know why that popped PC, bro. He kept calling it the ALT. Now, towns hate when you mispronounce their city or town, right? Or state. They hate when you mispronounce it. Jericho was just kind of poking at those. But I thought that was so good. And they have the whole little border to make it look like it's a New York Minute on all the cameras, and Powerhouse interrupts. Powerhouse and Big Bill just come to blows, but what I really liked is it wasn't just your normal every show brawl. There was security out there that was trying to break them up. They go around the ring. Now, camera side, Big Bill has a security guy by the neck. On the other side of the ring, Powerhouse is looking at Big Bill, who is holding the security, and Powerhouse also has a security guy. And it's almost like they're trying to one-up one another. So Big Bill just choke slams this security guy right on his dome piece. And the security, don't worry, guys, they're pro wrestlers locally from the independents. So this dude gets planted. So then Powerhouse Hobbs is like, what you can do, I can do better. Boom! Plants his security guy on his dome piece. And then they just start going to blows, man. I just thought the setup was just so good. And they did this thing where when they went over the commentary table, the camera fell. And they left it. They didn't go to camera C or D or A. They just let camera B fall. And they kept it there. And commentary didn't say a word. Either they were acting or their headsets truly got unplugged from going over the commentary table. But there was no announcers and the camera was flat, sideways. And all you see is the referees like running over to try to break it up with their feet, and then they go off camera, and that's all we're seeing. And we're hearing chaos, and we fade to black to a commercial. Guys, that was so well done. That's how you do a segment. Put a lot of care into it. Think about it. How can we make this fun? I love the trying to one-up one another by choke slamming the security. I love the production of dropping the camera, cut off the headsets, and go out with a different type of chaotic feel. Not just your standard every day, every show brawl. I liked it. And then Rico had a good match with Swerve. That's not my issue with Rico. It's just character development. I think he's starting to maybe find himself. Maybe in time I won't have to call him the substitute teacher with his little golden scissors in his pencil pocket. But pretty good match. Rico defeated Swerve. I would have had a much more climactic finish, right? That was, just Rico winning and going, and good night, everybody. But if you're looking for just straight, it's Rico and Swerve. But my point is, the last half an hour, I'm not seeing the worst wrestling show on the planet or in the history of wrestling, and AEW is done and there's no hope for them. Of course, there's so much room for improvement. Maybe the first hour and a half sucked. I don't know. I didn't see it. You guys can tell me. But, the last half an hour, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen in pro wrestling, man. Clearly, you haven't seen the last days of WCW, unfortunately. Or a Monday Night Raw recently. That's what I got for you guys, man. Until next time, and there will be that next time. BC in the unit. Smashing it out, man. We got a lot of inclement weather coming in, so hopefully you guys are all good. A lot of content coming up this week. Trust on that as we get closer and closer to Mania. 44 Dive, that's a wrap. BC saying check you. Deuces, Zeus's. Salute.